When we look at the global economic map, our eyes are often drawn to the familiar titans: United States, Europe, China. But in the heart of Southeast Asia, a different kind of story is unfolding. A coalition of rising stars. This is the story of ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, comprising 10 distinct countries: Brunei, Indonesia, Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. The formation of ASEAN in 1967 was driven by political and security concerns. For decades, its economic potential was overshadowed by its northern neighbors. Over the last 20 years, things changed dramatically. To grasp ASEAN's ascent, we must go beyond narrative and delve into the data. The numbers tell a powerful story of sustained, dynamic growth. Before recent disruptions, ASEAN regularly posted growth above 5%, outpacing developed economies. Projections show remarkable resilience despite headwinds. The bloc is poised to become the world's fourth largest economy by the end of this decade. Combined GDP is approaching $4 trillion, larger than the UK or France. A massive, growing consumer market fuels dynamism. Over 680 million people, the third most populous region, behind China and India. A burgeoning middle class is driving demand from smartphones and automobiles to financial products and travel. The digital economy is on track to cross the $300 billion mark. Trade is a critical pillar. Total goods trade regularly exceeds $3.5 trillion. AFTA and RCEP lower barriers and create a more seamless commercial environment. High-volume hubs make ASEAN indispensable to global supply chains. One of ASEAN's most powerful advantages is its demographic profile. While advanced economies age, ASEAN enjoys a demographic dividend. A larger working-age population lowers costs and boosts productivity. Young consumers power demand at home. Governments invest heavily in education and skills. Vietnam and the Philippines supply adaptable IT and BPO talent. Singapore and Malaysia push into finance, engineering, and biotech. Digital natives scale mobile payments, e-commerce, social media, and the gig economy. Startups tackle local problems with global-level technology. Innovation creates new industries and high-value jobs, accelerating the flywheel. As other regions age and wages rise, ASEAN's youthful, skilled labor offers a durable edge. Geography is destiny. ASEAN straddles critical sea lanes. It bridges the Indian and Pacific Oceans. Over half of global fleet tonnage and a third of maritime trade pass here. The Strait of Malacca is a vital choke point bordered by Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia. ASEAN links East Asian factories to Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Ports like Singapore anchor an integrated logistics hub. Malaysia and Thailand scale capacity with strategic corridors. Air hubs connect billions of passenger journeys and belly cargo. A multimodal network moves goods, people, ideas, and capital efficiently. With China Plus One strategies, production expands across Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, and beyond. Sitting at Asia's center, ASEAN is the logical, efficient choice for diversified supply chains. ASEAN's success is rooted in economic openness and integration. AFTA, launched in 1992, slashed tariffs to near zero. Regional supply chains flourished. Parts in one country, assembly in another. Efficiency improved across the bloc. ASEAN built trade bridges with China, Japan, South Korea, India, Australia, and New Zealand. Manufacturing in ASEAN offers tariff advantages for global markets. RCEP, now in force, is the world's largest trade bloc with unified rules. It consolidates many deals into one framework, with ASEAN central to the system. Openness now spans services, investment, and skilled mobility. The ASEAN economic community advances a single market and production base. This forward-looking agenda underpins tomorrow's global economy. Placed beside other regions, ASEAN's strengths stand out. The EU is a mature single market but faces aging demographics and rigidities. ASEAN trades maturity for dynamism, young, flexible, and fast-growing. While both ASEAN and Latin America have resources and population, ASEAN's stability and openness draw more long-term FDI. China's rising costs, aging, and geopolitics fuel diversification. ASEAN offers not a single alternative, but diversified options across 10 markets. India is a major force, yet integration and infrastructure can be complex. Many firms see ASEAN and India as complementary pillars of an Asia strategy. For now, ASEAN's scale and coherence in multi-country manufacturing remain uniquely compelling. It delivers diversification, resilience, and market access in one platform. That's a powerful edge in a volatile world. Global capital is voting with factories, especially in autos. Japanese automakers long ago made ASEAN a production and export base. Now EV manufacturers are scaling across the region. Indonesia's nickel reserves attract integrated EV supply chains. Thailand expands as an EV assembly hub. Diversifying from China, electronics giants scale Vietnam. Chip makers expand testing, assembly, and new facilities in Malaysia and Singapore. Operations are increasingly sophisticated and skill-intensive. Consumer giants localize to serve a swelling middle class. Production adapts to local tastes across the bloc. Food service brands expand aggressively as incomes rise. Tech giants invest billions in data centers in Singapore, Indonesia, and Malaysia, powering a booming digital economy. Not all is seamless. An infrastructure gap persists beyond top hubs. Logistics bottlenecks raise costs and slow throughput. Closing gaps demand sustained, multi-year investment. Consensus and non-interference aid stability, but can slow decisions. Governance, transparency, and rule of law vary across members. Red tape and corruption remain concerns in some markets. Rapid growth isn't evenly shared. Inequality can widen. Inclusive policy and skills investment are essential to maintain social cohesion. ASEAN must navigate major power rivalry while preserving unity and centrality. Diversification creates opportunity, but also exposure to shocks. Maintaining balance will be one of the region's great strategic tests. Acknowledging these risks sharpens, rather than dims, the investment case. ASEAN is moving from subplot to central theme in the 21st century economy. Its engine: favorable demographics, strategic geography, and integration. While mature powers face aging and saturation, ASEAN rides youthful tailwinds. It blends a competitive production base, dynamic consumer market, and a gateway to Asia. Today's investments, from fabs and EV plants to data centers and retail, lay decades of future growth. 10 diverse nations, increasingly cohesive, greater than the sum of their parts. For business and policymakers alike, engagement with ASEAN is a necessity. ASEAN's success will ripple through prices, innovation, and global power balances. Ignore ASEAN and you ignore the future of global commerce. The era of ASEAN has arrived. Its ascent will define our time. ASEAN's future is intertwined with the world's. It is, quite simply, the next big thing. If you want to know more about the ASEAN states and how your company can benefit from an investment in the ASEAN region, ask the NUCIDA experts.